The world of WWE isn't just about high-flying moves and jaw-dropping stunts. It's about power, presence, and sheer domination. While most of the spotlight often shines on male superstars, the women of WWE have proven they can hold their own, and then some. We're talking about wrestlers who tipped the scales at over 300 pounds, and one who made history as the first female wrestler to deadlift more than 600 pounds.
A new world record breaker.
Join us as we unravel 20 of the heaviest female wrestlers in WWE history. Number 20. Awesome Kong. Few wrestlers can boast the impact that Kia Stevens, better known as Awesome Kong, has had on professional wrestling. Standing at 5 feet 11 inches and weighing 272 pounds at her peak, Kong dominated opponents with a blend of sheer strength, surprising speed, and technical skill. Her rise to fame began in Japan, where she trained in the intense dojo system, a crucible that refined her into a fearsome competitor. From there, she blazed a trail through major promotions like Impact Wrestling, WWE, and Ring of Honor, earning accolades and fans worldwide. In Total Nonstop Action Wrestling (TNA), now called Impact Wrestling, her battles with Gail Kim were nothing short of legendary, revolutionizing women's wrestling with their intensity and storytelling. As Karma in WWE, she debuted with a bang, creating a buzz that showcased her potential to shake up the women's division. But Kong's talents extended beyond the ring. On Netflix's Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling Glow, she captivated audiences as welfare queen Tammy Dawson, proving her versatility as both an athlete and an actress. Kong wasn't just a wrestler. She was a cultural phenomenon who redefined what a powerhouse could be. But for every icon, another unsung hero is waiting to be discovered. Let's uncover the story of Ronda Singh, a woman who made waves across the globe. Number 19. Ronda Singh. Ronda Singh may be remembered as WWE's comical Bertha Faye, but her career tells a far richer tale. At 260 pounds, Singh was a commanding presence, capturing hearts and titles across Canada, Japan, Puerto Rico, and the US. Her journey began in Japan, where she achieved immense success in the ultra-competitive women's wrestling scene, an environment that pushed her to evolve as both a performer and a fighter. In Japan, Singh faced hostility from some peers due to her size and dominance, but she persevered, earning their respect through grit and talent. She became one of the most recognizable names in Japanese women's wrestling, a feat that few foreign wrestlers achieve. When she transitioned to WWE as Bertha Faye, Singh showcased her ability to combine wrestling skills with a larger-than-life personality, creating an unforgettable character. Despite the comedic tones of her WWE persona, Singh's technical skills and power reminded fans she was a serious competitor. Her legacy is one of resilience and adaptability, a woman who turned challenges into opportunities on every stage she graced. Up next is a performer whose monstrous presence in GLOW changed how women's wrestling was perceived forever. Number 18. Matilda The Hun. In the vibrant world of Glow, few names are as synonymous with power and intimidation as Matilda The Hun. Weighing in at 300 pounds, Matilda was a towering figure, standing out as one of the heaviest female wrestlers in the industry. Her size alone was enough to make opponents think twice, but it was her no-nonsense approach to wrestling that truly set her apart. She didn't need flashy moves or complicated gimmicks. Matilda simply overpowered her competitors with brute strength and a fierce will to win. Her character, crafted to be a villain, was larger than life, and she fully embraced the role. As part of Glow's roster of colorful and over-the-top personalities, Matilda stood as a physical and psychological force. But she wasn't just about strength. She had a knack for making every match memorable, whether through sheer force or her cunning mind games. Matilda's run in GLOW was groundbreaking, challenging the norms of women's wrestling at a time when it was still often relegated to sideshow status. Sadly, she passed away in 2022 at the age of 70. From one powerhouse to another, the next story brings us into the world of modern wrestling, where strength has a new face. Number 17, Nia Jax. At 6 feet tall and weighing around 269 pounds, Nia Jax is not just a wrestler, she's an imposing force of nature. From her debut in 2014, Jax has redefined the role of the powerhouse in WWE, bringing an unmatched combination of size, strength, and confidence to the ring. When Nia steps through the ropes, it's impossible not to notice her commanding presence. Her opponents, regardless of size, are immediately at a disadvantage when facing her raw physical power. Jax's journey in WWE has been nothing short of extraordinary. She made her mark quickly, winning the RAW Women's Championship and solidifying her status as a top-tier talent. But it wasn't just her in-ring prowess that endeared her to fans, it was her ability to break barriers. In an industry that often celebrated smaller, more traditionally feminine body types, Nia proudly showcased that strength and beauty come in all shapes and sizes. Beyond her impressive titles and matches, Nia has become an inspiration for countless fans around the world. She's shown that confidence doesn't come from fitting a mold, it comes from owning who you are. With her continued dominance in WWE, Nia Jax proves that there's no such thing as too big or too strong. Moving from powerhouse to pioneer, let's take a look at the career of Reggie Bennett, a wrestler whose legacy sometimes gets overshadowed. Number 16, Reggie Bennett. Though often overlooked in discussions of women's wrestling legends, Reggie Bennett carved a unique niche for herself in the late 1980s, when the landscape of women's wrestling was just beginning to evolve. Weighing in at 250 pounds, Reggie's size set her apart in an era where women wrestlers were typically smaller, more delicate, and often relegated to supporting roles. But Reggie wasn't about playing second fiddle. She was about commanding attention, whether in the ring or outside of it. Reggie's career took her across various independent circuits in the US, but she also made waves internationally, wrestling in Canada, Japan, and Puerto Rico. Her no-frills approach to wrestling, focusing on power and technique, earned her respect from fans and peers alike. While she didn't receive the same level of mainstream attention as some of her contemporaries, Reggie's contributions to the women's wrestling scene were significant. Known for her strong work ethic and commitment to the craft, Reggie was a rare gem during a time when women's wrestling was often underappreciated. Her career didn't just help shape the independent circuit. It laid the groundwork for future generations of female wrestlers to break barriers and demand respect. Number 15, Becca Swanson. When you think of strong female athletes, Becca Swanson should come to mind. Standing at 5 feet 8 inches and weighing 240 pounds of pure muscle, she redefined what it means to be both strong and feminine. As a competitive powerlifter, she set jaw-dropping records that stunned even the most seasoned athletes. She was the first woman to deadlift over 600 pounds, which remains one of her greatest achievements. Swanson's bodybuilder roots made her a force in every arena she entered, from bodybuilding to strongwoman competitions, where she showcased her remarkable strength and endurance. Despite her massive size, Becca's agility and power left competitors in awe. Her status as a record holder made her a trailblazer for women in sports that were historically male-dominated. While Becca has spent most of her life dominating strength competitions, the world of wrestling also embraced women who weren't afraid to embrace their size and strength. The evolution of such athletes paved the way for some of the most iconic women in professional wrestling history. And while Becca's journey is remarkable, there's another larger-than-life figure whose legacy continues to inspire, whose own story had a revolutionary impact on wrestling. Number 14. Chyna. Chyna, born Joanie Laurer, was a game-changer for women in the world of wrestling. Standing 5 feet 10 inches and weighing 180 pounds, she was one of the most physically imposing women ever to step foot in the WWE. Known as the ninth wonder of the world, Chyna broke boundaries that had existed for decades, making history as one of the first women to compete in the men's division of the WWE. Her towering presence, combined with strength, agility, and charisma, made her an unstoppable force in the ring. Chyna's most significant achievement came when she won the WWE Intercontinental Championship, a rare feat for a female wrestler. But it wasn't just her in-ring skills that left a lasting impact. Chyna's contribution to breaking gender barriers in the sport was monumental. She made it clear that women could be just as tough, skilled, and powerful as the men in the business. Beyond her wrestling career, Chyna's personality, both in and out of the ring, resonated with fans, making her a fan favorite for years. Tragically, her life ended too soon, but her impact is undeniable. As much as Chyna changed the landscape of wrestling, another legend, whose stature and dominance were unmatched, followed in her footsteps, leaving an indelible mark on the world of female wrestling. Number 13. Isis the Amazon. Isis the Amazon was an imposing figure, both in height and strength, and she made a lasting impression in the world of wrestling. Standing at a staggering 6 feet 9 inches, she was an unforgettable sight. With a weight of 240 pounds, Isis used her sheer size to overpower opponents in a way that few could match. Her presence in the ring was undeniable. Her height gave her a natural advantage that few wrestlers could challenge. Isis's wrestling career may not have been as widely publicized as some of her peers, but her impact on the industry was significant. She became known for her strength and intimidating persona, striking fear in her opponents as she towered over them. Despite the challenges of being a female wrestler of her size, Isis was able to make a name for herself in a world that was often dominated by smaller, more agile wrestlers. Her wrestling career was relatively short-lived, but Isis remains an iconic figure. And while she may have stood head and shoulders above the rest, there was another wrestler whose weight alone was enough to make opponents tremble in the ring. Number 12. Mount Fiji. Mount Fiji, born Emily Dole, was a force to be reckoned with in the world of professional wrestling. Weighing in at a massive 350 pounds, she became one of the heaviest female wrestlers in history. Known for her immense size and unrelenting strength, Mount Fiji quickly made a name for herself as one of the most intimidating wrestlers to ever step into the ring. Her career was marked by dominance and ferocity, as she often used her physicality to overwhelm her opponents. But what truly set Fiji apart was her ability to move with agility. defying the expectations placed on women of her size. While her wrestling career is iconic, Mount Fiji's life outside the ring was just as memorable. She was involved in a high-profile incident with Los Angeles County police officers, which drew significant media attention. However, it wasn't just her larger-than-life persona that captured fans' hearts. Mount Fiji's contributions to the world of wrestling were undeniable. While Fiji's impact was massive, there was another wrestler who spent decades in the ring, not only dominating, but also undergoing an inspiring personal transformation that would become one of wrestling's most remarkable stories. Number 11. Klondike Kate. Klondike Kate's wrestling career spanned over 3 decades, and her incredible journey continues to inspire. Starting in 1978 and making her debut in 1980, Kate quickly earned a reputation as one of the toughest women in the wrestling world. Known for her size, she competed at a weight of around 300 pounds, a formidable presence in the ring. But Kate's story is more than just about her wrestling career. She underwent a dramatic transformation that captured the hearts of many. Over the years, Klondike Kate lost an astonishing 392 pounds, a testament to her willpower and determination both in and out of the ring. Her ability to balance her wrestling career with such a personal challenge is part of what makes her story so compelling. Even after retiring in 2011, Kate's legacy continued to influence the wrestling world. She demonstrated that resilience is not only about physical strength, but also about mental toughness. As Kate's story comes to an end, it paves the way for another wrestler whose own battles in the ring made her one of the most unforgettable figures in history. Number 10. Kiyoko Inu. Kiyoko Inu's name is synonymous with breaking boundaries in the world of women's professional wrestling. Standing at 5 feet 8 inches and weighing 238 pounds, Inu was a sight to behold in the ring. But it wasn't just her size that made her legendary. She could perform at a level that defied expectations. When she debuted in All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling, AJW, during the early 90s, she immediately stood out for her remarkable agility despite her impressive frame. At a time when the wrestling world often viewed women as secondary, Inu proved that female wrestlers could hold their own, and then some. Her crowning achievement came in 1991, when she made history by winning the prestigious Japan Grand Prix, becoming the first woman in Japan to win a men's title. This was no small feat. It wasn't just a victory for Inu, it was a statement that women could thrive in the male-dominated world of wrestling. She held the WWE World Heavyweight Championship 3 times and was a 1-time AJW champion, cementing her place as one of the most respected figures in Japanese wrestling history. Inu's career is remembered not only for her power and resilience, but also for her ability to break barriers and inspire future generations of wrestlers. As Inu's story continued to unfold, another wrestler from Japan emerged with her own blend of strength, agility, and toughness. Number 9. Karu Ito. Karu Ito's name is often spoken with reverence among wrestling lovers, particularly those familiar with Japan's wrestling scene. A true pioneer, Ito made her debut in 1990 and immediately started carving a niche for herself in both women's and mixed-gender wrestling promotions. Known for her incredible versatility and adaptability, Ito's style was a combination of technical wrestling and high-flying maneuvers that made her a standout performer in a sea of talented wrestlers. While her weight fluctuated between 150 and 238 pounds during her career, her skill set remained consistent, impressive, determined, and dynamic. Ito's tenure in AJW marked a significant chapter in her career, where she made appearances in legendary events like the Tag League The Best. Teamed with several partners throughout her career, she demonstrated her ability to work alongside other top talents like Miori Kamiya and Yukari Maidamari, creating memorable tag team matches that still resonate with fans today. But Ito wasn't just a competitor. She was a storyteller in the ring, capturing the attention of fans through her grit, determination, and passion. As one of the standout figures in the world of Joshi wrestling, Ito proved that size wasn't the only thing that mattered. It was heart, skill, and the willingness to push beyond limits. Now, another wrestler who made waves in the industry with her larger-than-life persona and even more intense presence is Jessica Havoc. Number 8. Jessica Havoc. When Jessica Havoc steps into the ring, you can feel the intensity in the air. Born Jessica Crick, Havoc quickly made a name for herself in the world of wrestling, thanks to her towering 230-pound frame, fierce presence, and unrelenting style. Known for her time in TNA, Havoc carved out a reputation as a dominant force who wasn't afraid to push the envelope. Debuting in 2004 under the ring name Jessica Havoc, she became a fixture in several indie promotions before her breakout moments on a larger stage. Her early years saw her competing in Mega Championship Wrestling, Cleveland All-Pro Wrestling, and Ohio Championship Wrestling, where she displayed her raw talent and grew into her persona. However, it was in TNA where she truly flourished. Havoc's no-nonsense attitude, combined with her willingness to take risks and embrace her villainous side, made her an instant fan favorite. As she moved through the ranks, she collected championships, including the AAW Women's Championship twice, establishing herself as one of the toughest women in the sport. Havoc's strength is matched only by her unpredictability, making every match feel like an unpredictable thrill ride. She isn't just a wrestler, she is a force to be reckoned with. Her legacy, defined by her grit, power, and ability to captivate audiences, has paved the way for other heavyweights in the world of wrestling. And speaking of family legacies in wrestling, Tamina Snooker has her own remarkable story to tell. Number 7. Tamina Snooker. Tamina Snooker is one of the most recognizable names in WWE, known not only for her impressive physique, but for the incredible family legacy she carries with her. Standing at 5 feet 9 inches and weighing around 169 pounds, Tamina is a powerhouse in the ring, blending strength, agility, and a raw intensity that few can match. She comes from the legendary Anoa'i family, which has produced some of the biggest names in professional wrestling, including The Rock and Roman Reigns. But it's Tamina who carries on the family's tradition of toughness and undeniable skill. Her father, Jimmy Superfly Snooker, was a WWE Hall of Famer famous for his high-flying moves, and Tamina followed in those footsteps, though her own wrestling style was grounded in power and resilience. Throughout her 14-year career, Tamina fought against some of WWE's toughest and most talented women, from Charlotte Flair to Sasha Banks. Her matches were never about showboating. They were about proving her strength and determination. Whether she was facing opponents in tag team matches or singles competitions, Tamina always showed that her heart and heritage were just as powerful as her physicality. Tamina's retirement in 2024 marked the end of an era for one of WWE's most respected competitors, but her legacy continues to live on in the ring, inspiring future generations of female wrestlers to embrace both their power and their heritage. Number 6. Aja Kong. Aja Kong is a name that resonates with wrestling fans who love raw power and unrelenting dominance. Breaking into the wrestling scene in the 1980s, Aja Kong made her mark in All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling, where she quickly became one of the most imposing figures in the industry. Standing at 5 feet 5 inches and weighing 227 pounds, her size and power were unmatched, and her persona in the ring was equally fierce. She was known for her intimidating face paint, hard-hitting strikes, and a penchant for using unconventional weapons, adding an edge of unpredictability to her matches. Her alliance with the notorious Dump Matsumoto's Gokuaku Dome stable solidified her as a heel or villain in the wrestling world. But Aja wasn't just about brute strength. She showcased surprising agility for someone of her size, making her a unique competitor who could adapt to different wrestling styles. One of her most famous matches was against Manami Toyota in 1995, a bout that is still celebrated for its intensity and storytelling. Beyond Japan, Aja Kong also appeared in American promotions like WWE, then WWF in the mid-1990s, briefly showcasing her talents to a broader audience. Though her time in the US was short, it was enough to leave a lasting impression. Her influence can still be seen in the work of many modern-day wrestlers who emulate her no-nonsense style and commitment to pushing boundaries. From one powerhouse to another, let's now shift to a woman who took her wrestling legacy to new heights and became a torchbearer for one of the most prestigious wrestling families. Number 5. Natalia. Natalia Hart is a wrestler who proves that greatness doesn't come by chance. It's built through hard work, perseverance, and a deep love for the sport. As the first woman from the legendary Hart family to compete in WWE, she carries a legacy that includes icons like Bret Hart and Owen Hart. Natalia grew up immersed in wrestling, often training in the infamous Hart Dungeon, a place known for molding some of the best technical wrestlers in the world. Natalia's style in the ring is a blend of grace and power, but her true strength lies in her technical mastery. Her signature move, the sharpshooter, is a nod to her uncle, Bret Hart, but she has made it uniquely her own, often using it to turn the tide in her favor during matches. Her list of achievements is long. She's held the Divas Championship and the SmackDown Women's Championship and has participated in many groundbreaking moments, including WWE's first ever women's matches in Saudi Arabia. What makes Natalia truly special is her dedication to empowering others. She has mentored younger wrestlers, helping to shape the future of WWE's women's division. Off the mat, she's known for her kindness and advocacy work, making her not just a great wrestler, but also a role model. As we reflect on Natalia's contributions, it's hard not to think of another trailblazer who redefined what it means to dominate with flair and unapologetic strength. Number 4. Dump Matsumoto. Dump Matsumoto wasn't just a wrestler. She was a phenomenon who turned the ring into her stage and every match into an unforgettable performance. A key player in All Japan. Women's pro wrestling during the 1980s, Dump became infamous for her brutal style and devil-may-care attitude. Standing at 5 feet 4 inches and weighing 200 pounds, she exuded danger and charisma, earning her the nickname the Queen of Violence. But it wasn't just her size or strength that made her stand out, it was her ability to weaponize chaos. Matsumoto was a pioneer of the hardcore style of wrestling, often using chains, chairs, and even scissors in her matches. Her rivalry with Chigusa Nagayo is the stuff of legends, with their battles drawing massive TV audiences in Japan. Fans remember these encounters for their raw emotion and physical intensity, often leaving Nagayo bloodied but never defeated in spirit. As the leader of the villainous Gokuaku Domi stable, Dump didn't just wrestle, she made an impact. Her entrance, complete with wild hair, face paint, and a commanding presence, was a spectacle that drew boos from the crowd, but secretly, many admired her rebellious spirit. Dump was unapologetically herself, and her influence paved the way for future generations of women to embrace their unique identities in the ring. Speaking of women who bring unique energy and unmatched skill to wrestling, let's step into the world of a modern-day warrior who has redefined dominance with her enigmatic persona. Number 3. Asuka. Asuka, known as the Empress of Tomorrow, is a wrestler who seems almost otherworldly in her ability to dominate opponents. From her colorful, kabuki-inspired masks to her ferocious in-ring style, everything about Asuka screams originality and danger. Born Kanako Urai in Osaka, Japan, she began her wrestling journey in smaller promotions before skyrocketing to fame with her sheer talent. Asuka's WWE career is a story of triumph and resilience. She debuted in NXT, where she became the longest-reigning women's champion in the brand's history, holding the title for an astonishing 510 days. But it was her main roster debut that truly cemented her as a force. With an undefeated streak that lasted over 900 days, she defeated some of WWE's biggest names, including Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Charlotte Flair. What makes Asuka special is her versatility. She blends technical wrestling, striking, and submissions into a style that leaves opponents guessing. Her infamous Asuka lock has made even the toughest wrestlers tap out, and her blindingly quick kicks are enough to end matches in seconds. Yet beyond her physical prowess, it's her mystique and charisma that captivate audiences. And while she's an unstoppable force, she's also proof that individuality and passion can break barriers. Speaking of breaking barriers, let's look at a vibrant star who brought unmatched flair and excitement to WWE's women's division. Number 2. Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks is a name that defines excellence in WWE. From her jaw-dropping athleticism to her fearless attitude, Sasha is the complete package. Born Mercedes Varnado, she broke into the wrestling world with a dream and turned it into a career filled with groundbreaking moments. Known as the Boss, Sasha embodies confidence, style, and unmatched skill. Her career boasts numerous accolades, including Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships and the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, which she won alongside Bayley. But Sasha isn't just about titles. She's about creating moments. Who could forget her historic match against Charlotte Flair at Hell in a Cell, where they became the first women to headline a WWE pay-per-view, or her electrifying feud with Bayley, culminating in one of the most emotional matches in NXT history. Sasha's moves in the ring are as bold as her personality outside it. Her frog splash, inspired by her idol Eddie Guerrero, and her precision-based bank statement submission hold are just a few examples of her technical mastery. Off the mat, Sasha has also ventured into acting, most notably starring in The Mandalorian. Whether in the ring or on the big screen, Sasha's influence transcends wrestling. She's a trailblazer for women in sports entertainment, proving that determination and confidence can lead to greatness. And speaking of greatness, let's now shine the spotlight on a true queen of the ring, one who inherited a legacy and turned it into her empire. Number 1. Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is a name synonymous with excellence. As the daughter of Ric Flair, she entered WWE with big shoes to fill, but she quickly made it clear that she wasn't just following in her father's footsteps, she was carving her own path. At 5 feet 10 inches, with unmatched athleticism, Charlotte commands attention every time she steps into the ring. Debuting in 2012, Charlotte quickly rose through the ranks, becoming a central figure in WWE's Women's Revolution. Her achievements speak for themselves. A record-breaking 14 World Championships, a triple-threat headliner at WrestleMania 35, and countless unforgettable matches. Her blend of power, agility, and technical skill has made her one of the most respected athletes in the industry. Charlotte's persona is regal and commanding, but her journey hasn't been without challenges. Injuries and personal losses have tested her resilience, but she's always returned stronger. Her in-ring arsenal, including her devastating natural selection finisher and iconic figure 8 leg lock, showcases her technical brilliance and adaptability. Outside the ring, Charlotte is a role model for aspiring athletes, proving that greatness comes from hard work and a willingness to evolve. Whether she's the hero or the villain, one thing is certain: Charlotte Flair is in a league of her own, redefining what it means to be a champion. Which of these legendary figures do you think had the most profound impact on the evolution of women's wrestling, and why? Let us know your opinion in the comments below.